I didn't get sick. Ke wetse ke tafole ko sekolong. Ne ke bala form 2. A week went by, I'm okay, I'm walking. Because I used to walk to school and from school. And then I think a month later, I started swelling up under my knee, my left leg. It looked like I had 2 knees, like my knee and then the bum. Okay, let's do an x-ray. The x-ray comes back, there's a black mass under my knee. A CT scan. We go into the doctor, he's like, okay, I have good news and bad news. You don't have a bone. Your female sits 1 centimeter. The next day, we did a biopsy. We're in the same room again. He's like, yeah, you have stage 2 bone cancer. Then
In our latest conversation, Nadine was just 16 when her life was turned upside down by a diagnosis of bone cancer. Now, after enduring chemo and radiation, the cancer returned at stage 4, just 3 months later. Nadine underwent several surgeries, including the removal and replacement of her leg bone with metal. Despite feeling like she missed out on her teenage years, she uses her journey to raise awareness about cancer and to inspire others who are facing similar battles. Now, her story is truly one of resilience, bravery, and hope. Now, before we indulge in this candid conversation, let me thank Section 143 for hosting us. Now, this is a chic and cozy 2-bedroom apartment in Tsolepelo East, opposite Sarona City Mall, which you can book for 750 pula per night until December. So get on and make your bookings via the following details, and also give them a follow on social media. Nadine, thank you so much for joining me for this conversation. Your story is a very inspirational story of conquering bone cancer, right?
Yes.
And I'm looking forward to unpacking it, of course, because wow, what a journey it's been. So layered, right?
Yeah.
But before we get to, peeling all of those layers, I want you to take us back to your childhood. Take us as far back as you possibly can remember.
Okay.
What was that like? What kind of child were you?
I was a bubbly kid, an adventurous kid. Naked Ambrix tomboy. I did a lot of boy things. I was climbing trees, dude. I was playing in sand. I have so many scars on my body that is just from my childhood because I was a happy run-around kid. But I was a sickly kid. I had my appendix removed when I was 3. I loved eating tomatoes. I still do. So I'd suck on the tomato and then get inside the juice and the seeds. And then my appendix ruptured and then,
was there any kind of connection to you liking tomatoes, like the removal of the appendix?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still love them now.
Okay.
And then I had my arm broke when I was 4. So a couple of months after I got my appendix removed, I broke my arm because we were playing this game called Crash. Maybe do I stack the tower? But it's us stacking ourselves on top of each other. And I was at the bottom of the tower. Everyone fell. My arm was numb. And I snapped it in 2 places.
Oh my goodness.
So I've been a sickly kid.
Yeah.
But other than that, my childhood was amazing. Yeah, I had a beautiful childhood. My parents, I'm the second born of 4 kids. I have an older sister, 9, then I have twin baby brother and baby sister. So it was a beautiful childhood, honestly. Yeah.
And from a interaction with cancer, even just the word, right?
Yeah.
What was your first encounter of the fact that there's something called cancer? Even before your diagnosis.
Form 1. It was in science. We were doing sciences. And then there was those topics, I had put NCDs. There's cancer, but breast cancer and cervical cancer. It was just more you learning it so that you write it in an exam and then you forget about it. Yeah. That was I grew up knowing cancer it was a white people's disease. Black people don't get cancer. And old people, you'd find basadi bagolo with cancers. I never knew that a kid could get cancer until I got it. And I'm like, what? How is this even possible?
I can imagine. And the reason why I'm asking you that is sometimes, I'm not too sure whether familiar is the word, where it's genetic, it's familiar.
Yes.
So, there's a likelihood of, for instance, in my family, we grew up
to cancer because a lot of our relatives, especially on my dad's side of the family, never bolaiwa ke cancer, right? So it was something that we're so aware of, and what does it mean? Do you get what I'm saying? So I think I was really just trying to figure that out, whether it was something that was in the genes that you had, encountered within the family. Had you ever lost anybody to cancer?
I haven't, actually. It's only now that I have cousins, like distant cousins though, that have cancer. I lost a cousin last week. We were going through our cancer journeys together. We got diagnosed together. He had blood cancer. So he passed away last week. It's only distant relatives. And that's what I'm saying. It's only now. Like growing up, I had no one who had cancer. I never even heard of it. I have relatives with diabetes, high blood, all of those, just normal stuff. But cancer, no. I heard of it at school. That's why I'm like, the first time I heard the word cancer was at school.
So I'd like to believe, like a lot of other conditions, you don't get cancer today and get diagnosed today.
No.
You're gonna find out there was a whole journey, to the diagnosis. I want you to take me through that journey.
Okay.
What happened? You're a sickly child, you mentioned. Appendix got removed at 3. You broke your arm. But beyond that, is pointing us in that direction. As much as, of course, then you didn't know the direction it was pointing you in.
I didn't get sick. Form 2. So I used to be very flexible. Shocking.
My girl.
Yes, I was very flexible. So I used to wrap my legs around the table. And then I'd rock on the chair like this. I don't know how.
What?
So I'm like, dude,
I'm trying to imagine. Okay, how wide? So I can imagine.
You see, and then I'd swing like this. And then I slipped. And then it hit my knees. Right? Kid things. Got home, told my parents, hey, it was just a hit, sharp. Okay, cool. A week went by, I'm okay, I'm walking. Because I used to walk to school and from school. It was, I think, distance, it wasn't that far, daughter. I would walk. And then I think a month later, I started swelling up under my knee, my left leg. It looked like I had a little bump. It looked like but a bit bigger. You see? And then I showed my mom, like, ooh, kirurugile. And now we've totally forgot about the table thing, right? And then she's like, what happened? What did you bump into? I'm like, I don't know, dude. Knowing African parents, my mother went to buy deep heat. Libo move, liboing. My mom my mom would massage me. Is
it painful?
It was. Bump. Yes, the bump was painful.
Yeah.
And then and then it would disappear. Like the bump would disappear.
Yeah.
And then I'd be sharp. Like I'd walk, I would be okay, I'd be painless. But in the morning, it would weirdly be a bit bigger and more painful. And then we're like, oh yeah, oh, okay, no sharp. And then we still let it go. And I'm still walking. Now it's getting painful when I walk. Like more especially if I stand for too long. And then the lump got bigger and bigger. It looked like I had 2 knees, my knee and then the bump, right? Then my mom's like, no, we need to go to the hospital now. There's something wrong. We get to the doctor. Dude, I got tested for everything. Like pregnancy, HIV, diabetes, but not cancer. I got tested for everything. They even pricked the bump. And it was just air that came out. Because the doctor's like, maybe because we explained. And then he's like, okay, maybe and there's blood. Let me see what's in it. He pulled and it was just air. And he's like, okay, let me just give you antibiotics and we'll see what happens. And I'm still walking back and forth from school, all of that, living normally. And then I started losing weight. I used to be, at that time, I was like a size 34. I was like wearing 32 to 30. And then I had long hair. My mom's half Portuguese, half Zulu. My mom's hair, so mine was like somewhere here. I would comb my hair in the morning. And then there were like just lumps of hair. And I'm like, what is going on? And eating too. I couldn't eat. And then I'd throw up like 30 minutes later. Throw up everything that I ate. So I was like really, really sick. Would go back to the doctor. But no, maybe it's your antibiotics. Your body's not reacting well to them. Let's test again. We tested for everything again. Everything is negative. He's like, dude, I don't know what's wrong with you, Yano. And then it got bad when I would fall. So I'd walk. And then when you walk, your leg bends, extends, extends. So mine would bend and it won't extend. then I'd fall. Even like I get you bend your leg to get out.
Yes.
I'd bend, and then when I wanted to extend it, and then the doctor's like, okay, let's do an X-ray. Now, this is 6 months after my first visit with the doctor. Abararira X-ray. He did an X-ray. The X-ray comes back. There's a black mass under my knee. Like this mic. Looks like the mic. It's black. And he's like, now I'm just general doctor, my sister. I need to send you to GPH. Because we were living in Francistown at the time. I need to send you to GPH. Sharp. Luckily, I don't know if it was God. My dad got transferred back to Gabs. Went to GPH. I think we went 3 days before my appointment because I was at school. Neridra HE. And skipping. Like, I won't forget the day. I'm not trying to blame the teachers or anything, but I had a bandage on my leg because I was covering the lump because I was embarrassed. It looks like I have 2 knees. So I wore a bandage. I remember I walked to the skip. I got skipping. My leg was like, and my sister, I'm done. And skipping is I had to sit like the way I'm sitting and drag myself from there back to the classes. I was crying. And they were like, yo, when they call my parents, they're not telling my parents, they just call my parents, Bare, you need to come to school so we discuss exam. So my mom and dad are coming with like deformer and stuff, thinking
so that do you think it was intentional that they're not telling them? Was that negligence? What is it?
I feel like it was negligence because I think my parents would have came faster. Because I remember I spent a very long time moving. I feel like they would have came faster if they were told something. Because I remember my mom walked into the office and I was crying, dude. And she's like, what happened? And I'm like, I need to go to the doctor now. There's something. I was in a lot of pain. Because I remember before I be like that, I would sleep, I'd put my feet on the wall. Or at least would get into my feet. Because it was, because I'm like, period pains, that pain, I will never wish it on anyone. It was bad. Then I went to GPH. You know GPH. They were like, no, your appointment is like in 3 days. We can't see you now. And then, I don't know, miraculously, the doctor came out, the next patient. He just looked at me, he's like, hey, you look sick, Are you next? I'm like, no, Barry, my appointment is in 3 days. He's like, no, 10. Right? We went in. He's like, what's wrong? I explained everything. A CT scan. Went for a CT scan. I'm in a wheelchair now. Went for the CT scan. Did the scan. I was sitting. Screen is the results. Like the person who printed the results. And this man is looking at this bone, right? It's a leg bone. And the one side, it looks normal hair. It's a normal female hair, like sharp, all of them. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then he turns it around. There was nothing. Like, the muscles were half, the vein half. I'm like, no, it's that man. What's the name before me? That's his leg. Like, it's not. You know?
Are you conscious of what is happening? Because now, of course, I'm assuming you've become an expert, right?
Yeah.
Because you've lived with this,
yes.
But in that moment, there is a problem.
Yes.
And, okay.
But I can see it's a problem, but I think it was denial.
Okay.
No, it's not me. That no. Before, and I think right? So now my leg doesn't look like that. Sharp. We go into the doctor. He's like, okay, I have good news and bad news. You don't have a bone. You have like a 1 centimeter. Your female says like a 1 centimeter. I'm like, okay, so which means that thing I saw is mine. And then he's like, yeah, I can even draw it for you. Then he colored the part that's not there. He's like, this part is not there. I'm like, what do you mean? Because my mom was sitting on my left, my dad's on my right. I'm in the middle. And he's like, you have a tumor. So Santa, I've never heard that word in my life.
Right.
And I'm like, and I'm 16. I'm like, what is a tumor? What's that? And then he's like, it's a mass of cells that are eating your bone and your muscles and your veins. And I'm like, what is that? And then he's like, it could possibly be cancer. So I need to admit you, or test the camus, and then we'll see what it is. Sharp. I'm in school uniform, dude. Like, I'm in that. They get admit you. Even to be admitted was difficult too. Like we had medical aid, but GPH kind of wants
some kind of cash up front. Yes.
My dad had to run around. Guys, admit you.
Yeah.
I got admitted. The next day we did a biopsy. We're in the same room again. He's like, yeah, you have stage 2 bone cancer. I'm like, stage 2 bone cancer. Now this man is printing out papers for how look awarding my bala. So you know what is going on with you, because tomorrow I'm operating you. If I don't operate you, you're going to die. And this is too much information.
I was going to ask you, what is going through your mind at that moment? How are you feeling emotionally? Are you shocked? Like, what's going through you? Especially because you've heard of cancer, but not as anything you could ever experience, right? So what's going through your mind at that moment?
I blocked it out. Weirdly, my whole cancer journey, I never cried. 2020. I didn't cry. Because my cancer journey started 2013. I only cried in 2020. I was numb. I think I blocked it off in my mind. I'm like, okay, this is tomorrow. I need to read all of this and get it over and done with. At the same time, I need to write my exams.
You know what I mean? You really don't have the capacity to handle that kind of information. Yeah.
So then the next day, I got operated. They removed a 5 kg tumor from my leg. Yeah. Swigiri.
Imagine.
Yeah. And then because our other problem in Botswana, we don't have body banks. I would have gotten a bone transplant, which would have prevented me getting cancer again. So we don't have a body bank. They had to order one from Pretoria, which takes a very long time because you need to do the what's it called? The cell tests to see whether would it gel with mine. One. So there's this medical cement
in that moment
inside. Yes, but it's inside my bone. For that hole, or at least I can walk, right? Sharp. Then my doctor's like, okay, I did chemo and radiation. I did chemo, I did radiation.
What is chemo and radiation for a 16-year-old? I want that experience for you because these are words that that are thrown around. Oh, chemo, oh, radiation. But what does that look like?
So chemo is basically a drip, right? That has a lot of milimo. I never learned to find out what it is. I don't, because it traumatized me. I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
But the bag is yellow, until it's red, until it's white. And then you sit like how I'm sitting on, and then they put the drip in you. And you're sitting there for like up to 3 hours until the hair.
Can you feel?
Yeah, you can.
Besides that, is it painful or it's just
a regular? Warm.
Okay.
It's just warm.
Okay.
And we're sitting together. Like you're sitting there, I'm sitting here, someone else is sitting there. You have brain cancer. That one has stomach cancer. That one has what? You're 50. That one is 4. That one is 25. I'm 16. So
what is that conversation happening?
Yeah, you talk because I can't sit next to you just quietly. I'm going to ask what's wrong with you, But the sad part about it is we click, right? Because we know it's like every Tuesday. And then one day you don't come. And I'm there like, oh, where's my body? Oh no, she passed away yesterday. And you're like, yo, okay.
What does this mean? Yeah.
And then radiation, machining, it looks like a tube. You go into that machine and you can't move. And it burns the cancer cells from you inside. So we change your complexion, you become dark. Your nails become dark. Your lips become dark. You lose all your hair. Because also of the chemo, you lose all your hair, you lose weight. It's just bad, dude.
And what does radiation feel like? Is it a painful process?
It's not painful, actually. No, you don't feel anything.
It's just now the aftermath that shows you just how much trauma your body has experienced.
Yeah. And then I did that for 3 months. Oh, you're cancer-free. Sharp. We'll see you in like 3 years when your bone is ready. Okay, sharp. Lived life.
What does recovery look like post
recovery
chemo and radiation, because you mentioned this thing takes a toll on your body.
It does.
So I want you to get me into the life of a 16-year-old recovering from chemo and radiation.
Yeah.
What are you able to do? What aren't you able to do?
Yeah.
What are the conversations you're having with self? Who do you see when you look in the mirror, right?
Yeah.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah, you don't see yourself.
What I mean? Yeah.
Because now you're totally different from the person you were at the beginning. Like I said, I had long hair. I didn't have hair. I had like short curly hair. I couldn't get my color. So my hair curled up. It was like, you know, the S-curl, you know? And I hated going outside because now I had a scar and I'm still learning how to walk because I can't now I'm going through physio. So I can't sweep anymore. I can't mop anymore. So I don't do house chores. Like how Saturday, I'm just chilling on the couch. I'm being asked, I'm still on pills because there's pills that you take. I was taking calcium pills. I was taking more omegas, mama. Like if I was heavily medicated and pain meds too because I'm still in a lot of pain. And friends, I didn't visit my friends anymore. My friends didn't visit me because as kids, we don't know what cancer is. You know, so I lost a lot of friends. So I was always in the house. Like, because imagine I'm so used to people seeing me as this one person.
Right.
And then I disappeared. Yeah. And then I come back and I'm totally different. My complexion has changed too. You can see you understand. So it was hard. Like recovery was difficult. It was very hard. So then I did recover. I got happy again. I was like, okay, I need to come out of this. I need to stop hiding myself. I need to come out and be my bubbly self again. And then when I did, I got sick again. So I'm throwing up. My leg is painful. I'm losing weight. My hair, my little S-curl. Dude. And I'm like, no, I know these symptoms. Something is up. Went to the doctor. He's like, no, maybe it's just, you know, your body's trying to find itself again. Yeah. You'll be fine. And I'm like, no, dude, something is really wrong. I'm in pain, dude. Because I don't on my leg. So I'm like, no. Something is wrong. He's like, okay, let's test you. I did an MRI scan. The results did 2 weeks. They came back. My dad came with the results, and he opened it and he just kept quiet. Because we're like, Bala, dude, what's going on? And then he's like, it's a weeple. And then I read about the findings. I have 4 tumors under the cement. One of them was 10 centimeters. The other one was 7 centimeters. The 2 small ones were 5'5". Went back to the doctor. He's like, we need to test you again.
Tell me something. What does your leg look like? Because it's so huge. Unbelievable for it. Something's 5 kgs. Now there's a 10 centimeters, 7 and 2.5. What does the leg look like?
It looked deformed.
Okay.
Like you could see, like you could kind of see, it looked, dude, it was scary. It just looked off. The color, it changed color. I couldn't feel my toes at some point. Like it was just, I always used to wear long things because I'm like, this doesn't look cute. This is not nice. Then he tested me again and he's like, you have stage 4 cancer. It doesn't 3 months. Not even the last time at least. It was stage 3, dude. It's stage 4. Because he's like, now it's spread. And now we have 2 options. It's either we operate or we operate and we amputate you. And I just turned 17. I'm like, nah, amputation. Never. I can't do it. Because I'm thinking of my life. I'm like,
that's it. You know what I mean?
How am I going to find a man? You know? Like, how am I going to live? No, let's not do that. Let's find another option. Okay, sharp. Let's amputate my bone. Sharp. And then he told us the cost. So like imagine 3 months before we spent like 48,000 on the operation and everything. Now he wants 190,000 in 3 months. Medical aid was like, no, we can't do this. You're on your own. So now how do you transition from private health to public health? And I was terrified of public health. I'm like, the horror stories I heard about Marina. I'm going to get there and then they're going to say, there's nothing we can do. We're amputating you. And then what if I die after that? What was the use? And then he's like, no, but there's a program called Health Share where if you don't have medical aid, government pays for everything. So I will call in, the waiting list and see what happens. But for now, just go home. I'll give you pain meds. I'll give you supplements and stuff.
To just give us an idea of the kind of pain you were in, how are the pain meds? What are we talking about? Because we,
we're not talking about paracetamol.
You get what I'm saying? We're
talking about my brain. It's
I don't even know it.
Yeah, it's a blue pill. It's like this thick, right?
Yeah.
That pill, if you take it now, in like 3 seconds, you're knocked out.
Oh, wow.
It's that good. Like, it knocks you out so that, basically, it doesn't help you deal with the pain when you're weak. It wants to knock you out, at least, so you don't feel the pain.
Yeah.
So I was on those meds, and those you need a prescription. And a letter, or why? Because these are serious pain meds. So those are the pain meds I was taking. And they did help, honestly. But now it became hard on my parents because you need to pay for them also. And medical is like, nah, really. And those pills were expensive. And it's totally 30. And I'm taking like 5 a day or like 6 a day because I didn't want to feel anything. I just wanted to be asleep. And then I dropped out of school. I was supposed to start Form 4. I dropped out because why am I going to school? I have stage 4 bone cancer, and the doctors can only make me comfortable. So which means it's chai. So why am I still living? Let me just drop out of school. I was in a wheelchair. But then luckily, they were like, no, just come to school. Like, don't be at home.
Don't isolate yourself.
Just come to school. But just come to school and be with your friends. That really helped me. Honestly, that really helped because I was around people that were bubbly, and now people were understanding it now. Or like, okay, I can't give it to you. Like,
that's it.
I just need help, and I just need laughter, and I just need a distraction from what is going on with me. But I would go back home a lot during the day because I'd be in a lot of pain. Oh no, it's okay, and all of that. So I think the time frame from when I was told I have stage 4 to when Marina called, I think it was 2-3 months. Yeah. Then they called. So they have to test you first, obviously. Are you coming with what you say you have? Then they tested me. 3 years. They tested me. That man, he's like, what do you have, Wena? What is this? Why is your bone cancer like this? Because according to statistics or Google, bone cancer comes back after 3 years. And when it comes back, it doesn't come back that heavy. It comes back in oh, okay, it's in your elbow. Okay, no, sharp. Let's operate. Not
this aggressive.
Yes, like it's really, really aggressive. Why is it like this? Because I also had like little traces of it in my blood too. And it's like, hey, what is going on? We've never seen bone cancer like this before. And he's like, no, Marina, there's nothing we can do. But in SA. I went in April 2015. Kadi 12. Went to see the first doctor. Avantare. Now the only thing I can do is amputate you. I'm like, nope. I'm not doing that. That wasn't even an option in Botswana. I'm not doing it the side. Like I trust SAS because I grew up there. I'm like, nah, but I'm not doing it anyway. I'm not living like Oscar Pistorius did. I can't do that. And then he's like, okay, let me get you another doctor. Went to the second one and he's like, okay, what I can do is I can remove all the bones in your leg. A metal. I'm like, you see you. Me and you, we can be friends.
We're talking.
Yes, let's do that instead, right? On the 25th of April, 2015, I had a total knee replacement, which means I don't have my bone similar on my thigh all the way to my ankle.
Really?
Yeah. It's just
from
metal.
The thigh to the ankle.
It's just metals.
Wow.
Yeah, even that small little bone, the tibia, I don't have that. So I have no bones in my leg. It's just metal. And then he's like, okay, but now we have to still do chemo and radiation again.
So just try to understand this. So is it an amputation, but then they create...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They don't leave you with a stump.
Yes.
That's okay.
But the metal is inside my leg.
Yes. Wow. This is fascinating because I can imagine them putting the skin over it and so your flesh...
Yeah, because they showed me a video before they did the operation order. This is what it looks like. So basically, they open your leg, right? And then they cut your bone, right? Because the metal needs balance. So they cut it and then they saw a hole in it. They've removed all the other bones. And then the metal comes all the way down. And then by your ankle, they cut it, they saw a hole, and then they put the metal in like this. Yeah, then they check. So before they close, they bend your leg. To check, does it bend? Does it flex? Is the the screws okay? Is the knee looking nice? And then they close everything. Yeah.
Wow.
So they did that. And then I did physio. So I was in SA for a very, very long time. I had to, like I said, I dropped out of school. So I totally dropped out. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm not coming back anymore. I don't want to get to form for her because I'm doing physio that side. They're teaching me how to walk with this leg, how to move my toes. Because now they have to see what it is, any nerve damaged in all of this. I was there for a very, very long time.
And what is that process like? I understand, Wari, you shut out the pain, perhaps, right?
Yes.
You were really not trying to feel. Are you still in that? Kore, do you feel like it's all a dream? Are you just sort of sleepwalking through all of this?
It did not feel like that.
Okay,
yes.
It's not feeling heavy and like...
No.
Okay.
Because weirdly, my family would come and visit me. Like my sister, because she still lives in South Africa, with my grandma and my aunts. But they weirdly expected me to be quiet. And I was still my bubbly self. Like, I was laughing all the time. The doctors would come in, hi, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. But weirdly, I'd say I'm good, but I'm in so much pain. Like, physically. Like, I'm in a lot of pain. But I think I'd lie because I didn't want to keep going for operations and tests. And I'm like, let me just say, sharp. But then it turned out to be wrong. Like, I shouldn't have said that. Because, the pain I was in, my body was rejecting my metal.
Oh, and when you are like,
it's just
I'm tired of being
operation
in pain.
after pain. So I'm like, okay, no. Then they ask, how's your pain today on a 1 to 10? I'm like, it's a 3. I'm like, okay. Kantena it's like a 50, dude.
Yo.
Yeah.
And if you were being honest, at least they would know that there's a problem here.
See. And then in physio also, my doctor learned, I need to stand on this leg. Gets hard. And then she's like, why is it painful? I'm like, no, it's not painful. I'm just scared. Like, no, you're not scared. That looks like pain. And then finally I told the truth. I'm like, I'm in pain. And we thought, okay, no, we need to go and check what's going on. And then I went back to operation.
Which is exactly what you're trying to avoid, Ghana.
I went back, got operated. Hababula, they were like, oh no, another screw, more muscling. You understand? So I did a lot of reconstructive surgeries. Also, I had a lot of manipulation. So manipulation is basically when my leg wasn't straight. Like, it kept bending. So like, your leg is supposed to be straight. Like when you sit on a bed, your leg touches the laterals. Mine would stand like this. Why
Lisa, flat.
To push your leg down. So because I am okay, maybe we tightened the screws too much. So we get operationing. Then they so the doctor, a manipulation is called, it's called a manipulation because you're manipulating your body to be in a certain way. So he would push it, like click it back straight. And then when it's straight,
sounds so painful.
Dude, so imagine I'm used to my leg being bent. I get operationing. You're still kind of hazy, so I can't feel my legs. But I want to bend. And I can't. Because that was painful, honestly. Because I remember the last time I did manipulation. Because the whole passage. I need to bend my leg. We can't. You need to learn to keep your leg straight. So I had 3 manipulations. I had 4 cements. I had 2 reconstructive surgeries. All after 2015. So my hospital journey was, it was hell. It was.
Do you then still need to go through chemo and radiation?
No,
at this
that time
stage
I stopped.
Okay,
I had already gone through it after Batsenya, the metal, right?
Initially,
I did it for 3 months. Okay, no sharp. Then came the complications. Now. So now I keep coming back this side because go home, go and chill with your family for like a month, and then come back. Then I'd come back. Now I can't come to Botswana with my cement because this side, what if something happens to me? No one knows what is going on inside of me. So I had to chill that side with my sister the whole time. Then I have to go for physio again. During physio, the leg bends. They were like, okay, arbo. The last operation I had was in 2020. Yeah, that was my last operation when I was in Limco. My doctor's like, okay, because I hadn't seen him, I think, in a year. And then I went to Marina because my leg was changing color, nearly green. It was like your top. Yeah. And then my doctor's like, no, you're fine. Like this. And then I'm like, no, guys, this doesn't look fine. You can't just wake up one morning and your leg is green. Now I've heard of gangrene leading infection.
Right.
What if something is wrong? And then he's like, okay, go to SA and see what happens. And then he's like, no, you have an infection. So we need to operate. And then he's like, but then there's another operation that I've been wanting to do on you where we can electrocute your muscles, right? So he figured out the reason why I can't walk is because my muscles have been dead. So this operation is a 50-50. We can electrocute your muscles and then you can walk perfectly like everyone else. Because weirdly, the day I did my operation in 2015, there's a lady, Venda, who had same bone cancer as me, the same thing. Our case was the same. And she got operated the same day as me. She got discharged long before me. She walks, like we still talk till today. She walks, she wears heels, dude. But my case is different, you see. So my
and we learned that electrocution and it worked.
No, she didn't do the electrocution. She did the
just
first
healed her
once, and she was sharp.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So my doctor's like, okay, so we're gonna electrocute your muscles, then you can walk perfectly like everyone else. But while we do it, your heart can stop. Because let's say for me, 50 watts is okay, but for you, 50 watts can kill you. Or number 2, we do the operation and your leg dies completely. And then you'll be in a wheelchair. Like you won't even be able to use crutches. Because now so you'll be using a wheelchair. What do you want?
Do you want to take that chance?
It took me so long. I even had to come back to Botswana and
just to think about it before deciding, yeah.
And I talked to my mom. I'm like, dude, I'm 22, it's not bad. I pushed, I lived. If I don't come back, it's okay. But if I do come back and it didn't work or it does work, it's still fine, dude. At least I tried. Because I honestly want to walk. Like, that is the one thing. I honestly want to walk. So let's just try. Okay, sharp. I signed the papers. Even I remember I signed the papers. My mama said, because I told her,
you're an adult. Yeah.
I'm like, no. Let me just go back and then test know what's going on, and then I'll come back. When I got that side, I'm like, bring the papers.
Lisa,
let's sign. Sign the papers, went for my operation. Apparently, I flatlined twice. The first time I flatlined for 3 minutes. The second time was 15 minutes. The second time, everyone was like, no, it's chai. And then my doctor's like, Ali 17 years. I'm not going to let her go.
They're able to resuscitate you.
Now when I wake up, I'm all bubbly.
Because what you've been through.
Guys, what's happening? This man cried. Like he was sitting next to me. Allah. And it's a white man, a white old man. And he cried. Like Dr. Liru, guys, when I get married, that man needs to be there. That man cried. And he's like, dude, you're a miracle. Gone. And I'm like, okay. Right, no, at least I'm still here.
Right.
Then I did physio, and then unfortunately, the operation didn't work. So I'm still using.
But you didn't, the extent of the situation didn't deteriorate?
No.
Before the operation?
Yes.
So and what does that mean? Is there a chance of doing it again, or they,
no,
they attempted and therefore?
Yes, he doesn't want to do it again because. So imagine when you keep opening something and closing, opening and closing, and doing so many things to a body part. One day it can just tap out. So he's like, this is our last operation, because then now we're going to have to figure out how to relieve pressure from your hip and your back. So that's the only time I'm going to see you. After that, we're done. So I'm not doing any other operations after that, because I did reconsider an amputation. I'm like, maybe it will help me walk better. And then he's like, I'm not doing that to you. Rather have your leg. But
what does that look like? So, from that point onwards now, what does life look like, with your leg as is? Are you using a crutch? Are you in a wheelchair? Are you able to just walk? Normally, what does that look like?
I was using 2 crutches. And then now I use one, but when I know I'm going to be walking like a very long distance, like even at work, I use 2. But now I use 1. And it's kind of difficult. I can't do a lot of things. Like I can't run, obviously. I can jump, but not to put too much pressure. I can't swim. I can't ride a bicycle. I can't mop. I can sweep but gallop. Like I can sweep and then I need to stand and then breathe. And then I need to sweep with my crutch. Because I don't imagine kids over here and I'm all the way by the door. And I have to walk back. Because I can't, my walking is like a hopping. Like, when you walk with your tippy toes.
Yes.
So I walk like that. So it's hard. It's really hard. That's why I need to use the crutch.
Are you still in pain though? Like, how do you feel pain? Are there moments where you feel like some kind of sharp,
There is
pain,
moments, Like, I think if it's because I'm stretching my muscles more than they are being stretched. Because, like, my leg is bent all the time. Even like Robert's mobile, it's bent. So if I want to put pressure on it, I feel it on the back of my knee. Extend that heart. But most of the pain I deal with now is season pain. Like when it gets hot, my metal absorbs the heat. And then after a while, like after a month, then it'll be releasing the heat. And then I can't do anything. Like I can't put deep heat because you won't the blood clots. I can't put ice. You won't the blood clots. So I just take like a cold lap and then just put it there. And then because whatever was absorbed. Also in winter is I feel like winter is actually better than summer. Winter it absorbs the cold, but it's not that bad. But when it's summer, I suffer a lot. Like I can just be sitting like and then my leg is like twice the size it was because it's hot. So that's the pain I deal with. Also, I can tend to rela, like hakiwa also, because if I fall, my leg bends more than it actually is. So I do deal with a lot of pain also,
Would you say bone cancer stole your teenagehood? I don't want to say childhood holistically because, of course, initially you were a bubbly little girl running around, hopping around. I think it did. It did because I feel like I missed a lot of chapters that I was supposed to go through. Like, next door. I've never been invited to house parties. I never went to the movies with my friends. I never went to exam. Drop the pen. I never went to those things. And I never and now I feel like I'm still a kid because I'm trying to catch up. I'm still trying to go out and party and all of, but it's not the same. Like imagine Zoom. So you missed out on a lot.
And I feel like that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm trying to catch up, but it's not the same. Like people look at me and it's like, why are we at club? Hey, you're supposed to be at home. And I'm there like...
You just don't know, guys.
I didn't get to do that. And I'm trying to do it now. And it's still difficult, still trying to do it now because it's not gelling, you see. So I think it did.
You mentioned that in 2020, you broke down for the first time or you started feeling. Take me back to that. What happened?
I had a mental break. I started cutting myself. I started self-harming. Because I think that's when everything, because I'm a person, I bottle up a lot. I still do till today. Like something could have hurt me 3 months ago and I'm going to cry about it. You see, like I can't say to you, you hurt my feelings. Like I don't talk about things now. I'm going to tell you after a very long time. So I bottled up a lot of everything that happened. I blocked out the emotions. I blocked out feeling like I wasn't supported, like a lot of things. And then in 2020, I don't know what happened. Oh, I remember. We were watching TV with my dad. I like watching murder stuff, like boy investigation, discovery. And he comes home from work. It's just a random thing. He comes home from work. I change the channel. I live ball. Because you didn't ask to change the channel. And then he's like, but Haikacha is like a ball. No, it's fine. And then I walked away and I broke down in my room and I cried. Like I cried. When my mom walked in, she's like, why are you crying? Because dad changed the channel. And she's like, no, you can't be crying like this because Mutu changed the channel. That one thing made me snap. And then I remember that's the first night I started cutting myself. And I started cutting myself because I wanted to feel what I should have felt at that time. Like I wanted to see myself bleed. I felt like hurting myself, reminded me of all the pain that I was in, and now let me deal with the scar that I have.
Yeah.
Now that is me trying to heal everything that I went through. And it got so bad. I had so many burn marks and cut marks on my body. Because I didn't want people to see
all these
anything.
scars, yeah.
And then I remember that day, it was a Christmas party. I was crying the whole time. I went to my mom because I need help. And then she's like, what's wrong? And then I showed her everything. And then she's like, she took me to Marina. Marina, the lady, okay, no, I need to go and see a psychologist. So a psychologist, there's this test she made me do, like it's on a piece of paper, or are you suicidal, what. And then she's like, I have moderate depression. Sharp. Then they put me on medication. I didn't take the medication because it made me feel like a zombie. Like that's why I'm like, I'm a bubbly person. Yeah, imagine me all quiet and stuff. Now I can't feel what I wanted to feel. I need to deal with these emotions. So I didn't take the pills. I only took tabusiego because I couldn't sleep at all. So the night ones would knock me out. So those ones were amazing. I would take those. And then I started therapy. So then in therapy, now that's when we started learning what I actually didn't also go through therapy during my cancer journey. There wasn't a point where a therapist walked in and said, how are you feeling today? You know, like the only therapist that did, I had a therapist in South Africa, but Nelo or nan tuta about cancer. This is what it is, this is what happens, this is what it does, this is how you're supposed to feel, this is how you're not supposed to feel, all of those things. It wasn't a deep, how are you feeling today? How are your emotions? What are you thinking? That type of thing. I didn't have that. So now going through therapy at that time, it unpacked everything. I wasn't okay. I was blocking out a lot of things because everything was done so quickly. Imagine today, what test you, come so operation, come so this, come so head testing. Like everything was happening too fast. When do you have time to sit down and breathe and say, oh, I have cancer? I could be dying. You know what do I do? You know, like I couldn't say I need help, guys. Can you walk? You understand? So that was when now everything came rushing back, and therapy did help. I advocate for therapy. Therapy is amazing. You know, like she really, really helped me with that. I went through grief. I went through trauma, the trauma healing. I went through everything because even during therapy, we noticed I didn't like myself anymore. I hated my body. I hated looking at myself in the mirror. Like I'd look at myself, but if I had to look at full body, no. And I was always covered up. I was wearing long pants, long skirts, long dresses, everything. I hated my scar. More especially because if I'd go out in public with it, you get a lot of stares.
Stares, of course, yeah.
And then happen again na kumushidi. Batho kumushidi ba bua batho ngotla ba gote batho o ira inkontle. You understand? So she made me realize what I hated my body. I hated God. I hated my parents. I hated everyone basically. Where I'm like, I was in this thing alone. Like you don't let check a lunch, and then you'd go back to your normal lives. And I'm there in this hospital, 4 walls. I don't even remember the last time I saw the sun. I'd see it through the window, but because now I couldn't walk outside to go and feel the sun on my body. We're not the same, but you're coming on some, you're gonna be okay. And no, I'm not.
What do you know?
Yes. I'm not. I can't eat that. I'm drinking things.
Ish.
You see?
Yeah,
but
now, you know, when we started, I mentioned the fact that your journey is so layered because here you are, very diba.
Yes.
You know, now I want us to get into that because one of the questions I always ask is spirituality. As you go through all of this, where is God? You mentioned just now that you hated God. You know what I mean?
Passion.
So what was your concept of God, perception of God, and where is God in all of this? Are you still able to connect? Do you feel grateful that at least you have survived other people? But how is that unfolding? You know, and eventually then how do you get to this? How do we get to this?
I grew up in a Roman Catholic church. My family came from Roma. So I when I started before that, I loved church, dude. I'd go to church every Sunday. I was an altar server. I was a devout Christian, right? But on the side, re respect badimo. Me re phahla, re tlhaba dikoko, Thanksgiving things, di pudi and all of that. So we balanced the two, right? Then when I started going through my cancer journey, I remember one day, when like the day I was told I had cancer, I prayed, if you're really there, you're going to help me, right? Sharp. That's the only thing I said. If you're really there, you're going to help me. That's all I said. And then I went through my journey and then I got better. I'm like, okay, no,
God came through.
He's there. He got my back. Then I got sick again. I'm like, my brother, where are you now? Right? And then I went for my operations, the reconstructions, the complications. Yeah. That's where I'm like, no, I'm done with you. Yeah. Because if you were there, you wouldn't have made it happen the second time. You saw how hard I had to fight the first time. Yeah. And now you're giving it to me again. For what? So no, me and you is chai. This is where we break up. I'm not talking to you anymore. Like I'd even shout at him at some point. I don't like you. I hate you. Like that's why I'm like, hey, hate is a strong word, but I would say that where I'm like, I hate you. Yeah. Because why would you make me go through this again? Yeah. And then I would stop praying. Like nurses would come in and say, do you believe in God? You should talk to God. I'd be like, yeah, no, I will. I'm like, okay, shut up. And then they'd leave and I'm like, where is he anyway in the first place? I haven't even felt anything. Like I'm in so much pain. He could at least take that pain away a little bit, but he's not. So I hated him completely. Like I'd even come back and my mom would take me to church. I'd just sit there at the back. They don't even stand up because I'm like, I don't even know why I'm here. But I think after a while though, but if it wasn't me, who else should he have given it to? That's why I'm like, in chemo, it teaches you a lot of things. Relevancy with different age groups. There's like a 3-year-old there. And I'm like, ish. At least I lived 17 years, dude. Yeah, that kid is 3. Yeah. So then I started looking at it as he gave me cancer to teach people about it. Yeah. Because I grew up with cancer. But if I could have it and I survived it twice, I'm a testimony. God can give you obstacles. He can shake you, but you can still come out and live as if you've never had it before. So I felt like I hated him, yes. But now, dude, that guy is my BFF. You know, me and him, so fast lashan. You see, so he did disappoint me, but it's actually what he does. Like God won't make your life perfect. If your life is perfect, there's something wrong. Yes, there's something you're doing something wrong. So if you get to that bump and you survive that bump, you need to tell people. Yeah, that's what it's about. Like he was there. Like people I remember in the seminars I always talk at Klabekere, I felt like God, I was a ball in God's office. Like he has this beautiful office, like with clocks and cameras of everyone's life, you know. And I'm there in the corner, I'm just like the stress ball. He takes it off the wall and he plays with it. Because that's how I felt like my life was. But then jiggy, there's things going on. So which means how you just want action. You understand? But then I saw it as he was doing that because I was too comfortable in my life. I was like, oh no, my life is like you plan out your life in your head. Okay, now when I'm 20, I'm gonna be married. You know what I mean? With like 5 kids, driving a Range Rover, you know. Yep. I was too comfortable, too comfortable that I forgot that I need to pray. I forgot that I need to say, thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for giving me food. Thank you for, I can see, I can walk, I can laugh. You know, there's other people who can't. So our relationship was kind of rocky. Yeah, but now it's mended. Yes. And where do then Badimo come in, right? Yes. Because it's a whole conversation around Badimo. Yes. And, you know, Ureli Dibaha, does this mean, are you a sangoma? Yes. Are you a traditional healer? Okay. Where did this come in? You know what I mean? How did the two worlds... But anyways, you're saying you grew up holy thing. It's not like so at what point did you decide... Let me ask it that way. Yes. Did you decide this is the journey you want to go on? Okay. Yeah. So I grew up in a spiritually gifted family. Yeah. My great-grandmother was a sangoma. My grandmother was a sangoma. And then I these things are generational. They now needed to find the next person, right? So my mom was the next person. And then my mom's like, oh, no. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah. But yes, she grew up knowing this, but I think she saw how difficult it can be.
Yeah,
she's like, no, I'm not doing that.
I'm going to opt out,
no. Yeah, no, thanks, guys. Then they went to her sister, and then and then now they're fine. They're looking for someone else. I remember I was 5 when my great-grandmother passed away. It was her funeral. We were still living in South Africa. It was her funeral. Like, as a kid, it's a funeral. And I'm thinking it's a party, guys. We're just running around. There's food. There's family members. I don't know what's going on. And then I went to the bathroom. She's sitting on the toilet. And then she's like, yeah, she's like, I'm like, okay. I run to the kitchen. I'm like, Mama, Oma rukupa meat. And everyone is there like, Hata mango kupa meat. I'm like, Oma wants water. They're like, okay. And then my grandmother, she's spiritually gifted. She's like, moneling meat.
You see.
But Nala meat, went to the bathroom. She's like, nah, be mo bathtub. Then we sat and we talked. She asked me, how was my day? What am I doing? And then she's like, no, sharp. I'm like, okay, cool. I grew up with my great-grandmother. Like how I am talking to you. We grew
That's
up
how
like
you
that.
guys interacted.
Yes. I only came to know when she passed away. I was 7, dude. When we went, I'm like, who? This person every day. What do you mean? No, she passed away. Like, she passed away 2 years ago. I'm like, what? I'm like, no, but I see her. Last time my mom was like, maybe this is like trauma.
She's imagining things,
imaginary friend, she's, But then whenever I'd go to Limpopo, because that's where my grandmother lived, I get Limpopo. Oh my God. And she's like, no, I'm on. And then would talk, the three of us. No, my mom didn't see her. My grandmother.
Oh, your grandma. Okay,
yes.
okay.
So then we really 3. So my grandmother knew I was spiritually gifted. But she never told me, okay, you're gifted, right? Then she had Ntumba, which is like the traditional heart where you do consultations. Kadi holiday, she'd call me, like you would come for a consultation. Oh no, and I'd tell you everything. Then she'd be like, okay, it's 10 rand seats. And then I'd go and play. You see?
Okay. So you grew up on this. It's not a new thing that
no, I didn't go to
caught you off guard.
No, I didn't even go to high school and would be chilling with my friends and my grandmother's there. My great-grandmother's there in the corner there. And then I think in high school it started getting awkward because I'd ask, I'm like, guys, do you see that person there? Oh no, there's no one there. Like she was always with me. She'd even take me and she'd take me and then I'd turn around every time I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This does this. Go and tell your mom not to do this tomorrow. What, and I'd tell the family everything. And weirdly, everything would come out the way that she said it. So as I grew up, my mom started believing, okay, no sharp.
You have to get
and then I started getting trances where like if I'm just chilling and then I'd start breathing heavily and then my eyes roll back and then she would talk through me to a point where you can hear this is her voice. So then that's when my mom's like, no problem. We need to see what is going on here. Then in 2019 we went to, because now you need to get second opinions. Went to the first traditional doctor, but hey, you're gifted and you knew. And you're stronger than me. I don't even know why you're here. You're supposed to be telling me what's wrong with me. And then went to a second one. No, you're spiritually gifted. The way Sidimu Same selling possessive cutting, it does not want me since I was a kid.
You were chosen from the get-go.
That's why I know Sitlhar. Like you can give me Sitlhar and I'm going to tell you Resi, but I have never seen it in my life. Wow. So they were like, no, Naible Sidimu Sarna ke sa bogosi. We are to anybody. So after that, now everything came flooding in, because like weirdly Sidimu say snacks. So when you find out Sidimu, then that's when they become.
What does that mean? You need to acknowledge it first, and then now
that's when you start going through everything at once. It's interrupting everything in your life. Like I can be in class and then my ears are ringing. I'm hearing about that one's problems. I know the lecturer's husband is cheating on her. I know. And I'm there like, hey, guys, I'm trying to learn about the SWOT analysis. Relax. Can you please, let's concentrate. So then I had to it's called right? Where now you ask, can you please give her time? So in that whole process, she's not saying she's just saying disrupt that. Because I honestly couldn't concentrate at school. Like they told me, that's the first piece I got, the red and white ones. To say, I accept my calling, let's do this. I can't do school and I have to go and tell my lecturer, please next week don't go to Francistown. How is that person going to look at me? How do you even know Francistown next week? You understand? So we did that ceremony and then you have to wait. Right? They can say no, we are saying or no, Kesha school. So luckily mine were like, no. Then school, but how bad has my sister. We are serious. So I wrote my exams. Hell, like it's already exam every night. Where it's like we're teaching you everything, and wake up in the morning. I have to go and buy beads that I saw them make with me. I had to go and buy matzela. I am consulting. Like there was never a point where I said kibulezity consultation. People would just randomly come to me and say, I need help. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. How do I? Hey, la, and they're like, so if you come to me for consultation, they talk to me. So how I need help. Last week. And I already know everything. So
is that where you are now? Like with the journey?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And it's not something that you're battling with. It's something that you've embraced and, it's just a part of you.
Yeah. I think the hard thing is with working. Badimo are jealous. Very, very jealous. Babata attention 24/7. I am consulting every day, 9 to 5, Monday to Sunday. That is that is what they want me for. So for me to get a job, because after
negotiation.
My friends are working, they have houses. Can I please? Now this is what we want you for. We are not going to work because and I'm like, no, but I can do
both.
I can do my 9 to 5 and then hire 7 to 9 get a consult, right? Like I had to beg for that. Like I think because graduated 2022, I only got a job this year. Like a stable job. Like my 3 months, my 2 months, because my sister the patient we need to go home.
So would you say you found some kind of balance right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I think we found an understanding.
Yeah.
Because now I work an 8 to 5, then hire 7. I consult from 7 to 10.
Is there some kind of correlation between your... And I know now we're talking spirituality because, of course, there's the science, there's the medical side of things, right? Between your gift and your bone cancer.
Yes, there is. Apparently, because I gotta get consulted from other doctors, I can't consult myself. So when I wanted to know, because it was my cancer just something medical, or is it something that Sidimu did? And then the person, I went to 3 people, they all told me the same thing. It was a punishment. Your mom was supposed to be the next person. So because your mom, we got pissed, my sister. And now we went to your aunt. Your aunt did things. And now we went to your older sister. Your older sister came a Muslim. Now we came to you. And now we're pissed. So and they were like, because everyone else didn't listen. And
how do you feel about that? Like right now, in retrospect, knowing that and with everything you've been through, like, is this something you've made peace with?
Just a little bit. I think a little bit. I think I'm still kind of hurt because I'm there like, 5 years.
Wow, bona.
And what are you guys listening? But I never said no. Like, and my grandmother knew. Why didn't she tell me? okay, you're spiritually gifted. When I get like a holiday, pama 10 rand ke consult about me, nelwa ma 1.5. And my mom too. Dude, you could have, because there's ways you can say, this CD. Like you why say, it's like okay, I'm sorry, but not me. Like there's a ritual you do. Someone else in the family. But when you just said, you see, like I still think I hold a little bit of resentment towards my mom and my grandmother. Guys,
you should have helped me through this better.
Like, and while I was going through everything, like you guys could have helped better. Where you're like, okay, no, because how do we do all of these things better?
Yeah. But where are you now? You know, one of the things that I wanted to ask about, of course, you touched on friendships. You know, I wanted to ask about relationship. The girl is rocking a ring. You know, you're rocking a rock. So
25 carats.
Right? So, you know, where are you now?
Yeah.
What's happening? Are you able to say you're living a full life?
Yeah.
You know, have you found your way back to self? Or are you still dealing with that? Where are you?
Right now, I think, let's say if I have a scale of 1 to 100, I'm 98% happy.
Oh.
Yes. I think the 2% is just that I'm not walking.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll get there slowly and slowly. I am happy because I'm working. I work at Botswana, guys.
Girl, everyone's dream job, dream organization.
Wow. I work at Botswana. I am engaged to a man who, if he could, everywhere we go. I'm living on my own with him. Like, we're living together. We're now moving to a new house, like a better house. It's cute. It's all nice and stuff.
Look at you blushing.
we have a car. Like, it's beautiful. I think my life is where I want it to be. It's amazing. But it's I feel like a lot of things I wished could have happened during my cancer journey. I shouldn't have said that. Like, where I was like, I think I could. I call it the machine. Let's just try, guys. Let's just stop fighting. Like, I wish I wouldn't have said that, because I wouldn't be where I am today.
Where you are,
like, I'm honestly so happy. I talk about cancer all the time. Dude. Where I'm always there, like, oh, cancer, this, cancer, that. Like, I love advocating for cancer, because at that time I had no one who was my age I could relate to. I was like, that's why I'm like, I was sitting next to people who are 50. You have 6 kids, dude, and you're saying to me, you'll be okay. No, I won't. I don't even have a kid. I don't even have a dog at that time, you see. So I love talking about cancer. I'm like, at least if kids who are now 16, you can come to me on some, hey, dude, what do I do? I'm like, let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do, you see. Like, I'm happy, guys.
You're in a good place. You mentioned, having kids, and I'm sitting here. You know how earlier I mentioned the fact that it's familiar within our family.
Yes.
Is that something you're excited about?
Yeah.
Having kids and growing your own family. Where are you where that is concerned?
I want kids. Guys, I love kids. I love babies. Like, they're so cute and just so small. Like, they look like potatoes. Like, I want a cute little chunky baby.
Potatoes,
yeah. But I think I fear having kids because I am a 100% cancer gene carrier. So I could pass on, I don't want to say will, because that's talking it into existence. I don't want to speak it. Yeah, so I could pass it on to my kid or my kid's kids. So it will run in our family. So I worry that if I do have a kid, the pain I went through, I'm like, it's a pain I would not wish on. I don't have kids, but I feel like labor pains are better. Like, labor pains, you just push 3 seconds and you're done. But that pain lasted a very long time. So I don't want to go through it again with something I birthed. Like, imagine me sitting in that chemo room with my kid, and I'm like, hey, dude, I know what you're going through. Like, I'm the one who gave it to you. Like, I put you in this situation. I'm
That's
so
your greatest
scared
fear.
of that.
Yeah.
But I do want a kid. Like, I honestly, like, if I could have like twins, and then I'm done.
Yeah,
like I do want kids, but I also think I'm also scared of the pregnancy part because of my leg.
I was gonna ask you that. Is it possible? Are you able to carry the load full term?
It is.
But
I was told that when I do get pregnant, like the first 3-4 months, I'll be okay. Then I have to go back to SA. Either a metal plate in my back, because I already have back pains as it is. So I can imagine with a kid.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to put a metal plate in my back, either on my hip or on my back, so that I can balance. But then I get gonna go 7, 8, 9 months, I'm gonna be in a wheelchair. Yeah, that I was told flat out.
But it's something that you know, and it will be a choice that you're consciously making.
Yes.
Also, is it really a choice? Because then, you know what I mean? You're a vessel that's bringing life into. But let's just believe that He will give you the capacity, to carry it and to see it through.
Bump,
right?
Yes.
You're such a great storyteller. I think I need to just compliment you on that. You've taken us on a journey that with so many twists and turns and like it's a whole roller coaster ride. But so thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much. Perhaps as we wrap up, what is that thing that you like to say to anybody going through what you're going through? You mentioned that you got to interact with a lot of other cancer patients during chemo. And if you had the option to talk to somebody who's watching now and literally Ali in those shoes, dealing with some kind of cancer, struggling, with just reconciling, battling with the spiritual, the emotional, the pain.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
I think the first thing I'd say is you need to talk. Because if you don't talk, you're going to slowly die on the inside. You're going to hate everything. You're going to hate the process. You're going to hate the doctors. I hate hospitals till today. So you're going to hate everything. But find someone who you can talk to. Like someone who you can let everything out to. Someone who you can say, you can text at like 2:00 in the morning and say, hey dude, I need to cry. I need. And then number 2, find support groups. I only found a support group after my cancer journey. So I think when you are diagnosed, there are so many support groups in Botswana. There's Cancer Association of Botswana, there's Journey of Hope, there's a lot. There's even small nyana ones that women make together or people make together. Just find a support group, because when you find someone who's gone through it or is going through it, you have basically. You have someone who you can relate to and say, because people find different ways of dealing with pain and all of that. So imagine going through it alone. But then someone else found like these patches or something that can really help. So a support group also helps too. And then number 3, you must love God, dude. Like, I know your faith at that point is
tested.
Yes, like you're there on some why me, but if not you, then who else? That's what I'm saying. I looked at it as I'm 17, I'm 16. A kid can be 5, she can be 3, she can,
why
or
them?
Or a baby, because even babies get it. Like you can be born with it, and it's like, why? You see, so at least look at it as a lesson to trust God, to believe that God is there, to know my life isn't perfect. And because God gave me this situation, He knew I could handle it. Yeah. That's why He put me there. If you couldn't handle it, He wouldn't have given it to you.
That's it.
So He's testing you to see or you're just going to be there and some, I'm done with you.
That's
like,
it.
Use your story as a testimony. So rely on God.
I want to give you high five because I do high fives, but because I've got battling with the flu right now, let's do a fist bump.
Yes, girl.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Welcome.
You're leaving me feeling like nothing is impossible, right?
True.
Like
true.
Even the load that I thought I was carrying is nothing.
Yeah.
And just looking at you and seeing how you're thriving, how you're just able to radiate joy and still have the zest for life with everything you've been through. What's my excuse?
True.
You know what I mean?
See,
so thank you for doing this. And this is really why I love this kind of storytelling, because you don't know what you're doing for the next person. Girl. Well, I think you do, because you've been doing this for a while. So thank you for doing it, and welcome. Keep doing it. And can you just find everything that pours into you as you continue to point to other people? Yes. I wish you all the best, in all your future endeavors. A big, beautiful family,
and a wedding.
So thank you so much for doing this.
Now, thank you very much for tuning in to this episode. And don't forget to share, to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you'd also like to share your story, you can DM the GaonaLive or GaonaLive Conversations pages on Facebook, or just email GaonaLiveConversations@gmail.com. Catch you on the next episode.